Good Friday morning, NASCAR adventurers. DJ Wayne here. We are starting this Friday morning off right back here at Hendrick Motorsports. I came out here earlier this week. You guys have seen the video. Shout out Wayne Ferguson, Canadian. I met here in the museum gift shop the other day. Thank you, Wayne, for watching. Thank you for subscribing. It was great meeting you. Also, a good Friday morning shout out to Rail Stalker. Love that name. But when I was here the other day filming inside the gift shop in the museum, and I went back there for pit road training, the staff pulled me aside and they actually thanked me. And I said, well, what are you thanking me for? They thanked me because they did not advertise the fact that the museum and the gift shop was opening up, and a lot of the fans that showed up told the staff that they heard about it through my video. So that was very honorable. Thank you guys for you guys and girls doing that. I really appreciate it. Thank you to the staff here at Hendrick Motorsports for sharing that good information. You know, I really appreciate each and every one of you watching these videos. But while I was at Hendrick Motorsports the other day talking with the staff, they let me in on a little secret. Not a big secret. Jeff Gordon's not going to do a surprise autograph signing today, but a little secret. So I got up bright and early this morning, and I've come back. And we are starting this video basically where we started the other day. When we got here, we started the video looking at that building right there. That's the building for the 24 and the 48. When Jeff Gordon and Jimmy Johnson were drivers, that was their shop. And then on this side, the twin sister is the building for the number 5 and the number 9. When we came the other day, we started the video. I walked right up there to the door and said they are still closed to the public. Well, today, that is supposed to change. They are supposed to open the doors today. And we are here to go inside and bring you along. Let's go. Before we go in through the doors, one thing I have never seen here at Hendrick Motorsports is a whole bunch of police cars. That's interesting. It's bright and early. Not sure what's going on in the team center. Maybe they're just having a meeting about the crazy busy weekend they're getting ready to have. But they've got everything ready to get moved over to the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Everything is staged outside. As always, doors haven't opened yet, so we're just going to take a walk around and see what we can get ourselves into. Seeing how it is Friday before the big races in Charlotte, they are not going to be out here today practicing pit road training. But boy, we have gotten some great videos, some fun videos out here. I think we've probably got 4 or 5 posted on here. Everything you got, Harold, PC4. But we've had some really good photos and videos posted out here of them training, doing the best they can, getting ready for each and every race, pit road training. But they are not here today. 9:33, doors open at 10 a.m. So we got here early so I could be in here front and center first thing this morning, get this uploaded for each and every one of you. Now, if you guys are going to be here in town this weekend, just a reminder, tonight, Charlotte Motor Speedway, Joe Gibbs Racing Fan Fest, followed by Brett and Michael's concert at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. It is not inside, it is actually outside of the Speedway. Before I leave, maybe I'll swing by and pick up a couple of tires. Left, right, number 12. And we have made our way inside. They are open. There's the Alex Bowman, number 48. They have been closed since the pandemic. A lot of people have been asking if they were gonna open back up. And the answer is yes, this weekend. I know they were open Memorial Day weekend as well. They had a fan fest before the Coca-Cola 600, all that good stuff. But they'd be open back up today. How cool is that? Here's the number 5, Kyle Larson. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Wonderful. Glad to see this open back up.
Yes. Wonderful that y'all can.
Take a quick look inside Kyle Larson's ride. So many times we've been coming with these videos and I've been videoing from outside those mirrored windows. Not today. Today we get to come inside. Shout out to that Jeep right there. He's got a little sticker on the side that says Power Horse Wrestling. Let's see if we can get a little closer inside the 48. Check that out. How cool. All right, so again, this is, check out these race suits. Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, William Byron, Alex Bowman. So I will let you in on a little more of the secret. They did tell me earlier this week this was opening this morning. They invited me to come out. That's why I'm here first thing. They may actually start opening more. Not just this weekend, not just for this race, but they might try to get back into a regular opening schedule. So as I learn more, I'll share it with you guys and girls. Get it out of the glare for you. There's the Bud Shootout Trophy at Daytona. Well, I was the first person in, and now it's starting to get packed. That's okay. Glad to see people coming in.
Have you had them down to the museum yet?
Not yet. That's where we're going next.
Love that belt, Jimmy Johnson. Looks more like a boxing title, but championship belt's a championship belt nonetheless. Cobalt Tools. Hey, there's another belt Jimmy Johnson owns. Say what you want, but that looks like a Michael Jackson glove. Just saying. Here's a sign from Pit Road. Auto Club Speedway. Love that trophy. Richmond Rock and Roll 400. I still wish they raced the Rock and Roll 400 because I like rock and roll. Yet another Jimmy Johnson championship title. Yet again another Jimmy Johnson title. You'd think that Jimmy Johnson's a heck of a driver, wouldn't you?
Check it out.
Why yeah? Why wouldn't he?
Scoot out of the way, some other fans taking photos this morning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It might be impossible to get out of the glare, Jimmy, sorry. But you get the picture. It is packing up in here quite quickly this morning. Love it. That's great. See if we can get a better view inside Kyle's car there. There we go. They got to win the net up, so we can't get too close to it, but that's okay. We will make one more quick tour around these two rides, and then we're going to head next door and check out the other lobby. I wanted to start with this one first this morning. Let's get in a little closer. There we go. There we go, even super close. There we go. Alex Bowman, Ally 48. And they do not hide the fact that they can see you from up there like they do at Kyle Busch Motorsports. If they were up there, you could see them. Let's continue our tour around these two rides once again, shall we? All right, let's go next door. So now we are leaving the 24 and 48 shop, making our way over to the 5 and 9. Not to be confused with the 5 and dime. Let's go. And here we are, just that quick. Home of the 5 and 9. As we're making our way up to the door, now's that opportunity. Thank you guys and girls for watching. As always, please make sure you subscribe. Ring the bell for notifications, like these videos, and please leave happy comments. I love happy comments. Let's go inside. And here we are. William Byron, Chase Elliott. Let's zoom in, see if we can get a closer view inside Chase's car. Yes, we can. Inside the number 9 Napa Auto Parts Chase Elliott ride. Staff is here greeting everybody as they're walking through the door, getting more and more people as the moments go by. Napa know-how. Let's continue to walk around these cars. Then I need to get this up online for you. William Byron, we met him just before the Bristol race earlier when they raced at night, on the dirt, in the rain. Let's zoom in. Here's a little look inside the William Byron number 24.
Not electronics. All electronics.
That's a good photo right there. I need to stop and take a picture. One, two, three, four, five, six, 7 championship trophies up there. There's a Jeff Gordon Winston Cup trophy. Pensacola, Florida. Winning driver, North Wilkesboro, 1996. I took some video up at North Wilkesboro a few months ago. As I was pulling into the gate, Dale Jr. was right behind me. That was the day that they were going in and they were running tests. If you haven't seen that video, make sure you check it out. It is on my channel. Atlanta Motor Speedway. 2 big old trophies. 50th anniversary wine bottle. Look. MBNA trophy, Kansas Speedway. Get up there and take a look. Thank you so much. There we go. And that's the first one we looked at a little while ago. So I was informed by this very nice yet very nervous staff member here that tomorrow, Saturday, they are going to be out here. Everything's going to be open, but they're also going to be having food trucks out here too. So they're definitely looking at having a good time out here tomorrow and the rest of this weekend, leading up to the Roval 400.
You can get these.
Just down the sidewalk. Yes, but it's actually on the same level. You just have to walk down the sidewalk. And they're like, hi, how are you guys today?
Yeah. Now that thing goes in the back of their helmet because they're cold. Clean. This is old.
Look inside the number 25 Rick Hendrick Budweiser. We'll get on the other side, get a little closer look. Let's take a look on the inside, shall we? I'll just stop this so you guys can read it. Rewind it, pause the video if you need to. But there you go. Nice look inside the Rick Hendrick number 25. Good morning, guys.
How we doing?
Doing wonderful. Hope you are.
Oh, yes.
And of course, DuPont number 24, Jeff Gordon. Zoom in for you. Somebody's in the shop working today. I didn't think they would be. Let's get another angle. There we go. So there's a few people working here today.
I picked him over Gordon when he was driving the 88 car. My guy only got to a bike. I'm like, well, I guess you got
Zoom out a little bit so I can see more of that car. Frame, that is.
Hey, it's better than your cars.
Yeah, you know they're not showing you anything that's important. No.
Pretty cool, isn't it?
They were probably all in the halls. They're probably near the halls.
Not how everybody was in the aisle last time. I was like, they are not showing you any secrets.
GMAC racing helmet. Some photos. So if you're going to be in the Charlotte area this weekend, stop by, tell them DJ Wayne sent you. They're going to have food trucks out here tomorrow. Definitely sounds like fun. I will not be here. I've got 2 weddings in 2 different states over the next 2 days, so I'm going to be very busy. All right, there goes our friends from Richmond, Virginia, right outside of Richmond. We had a nice long conversation about their fans, Chase Elliott fans. Got my photo taken with Casey. But we're going to continue our tour. Go, Daddy. They got to go to Bristol earlier this year. Chris Buescher won. He said Chase Elliott was so close. Hey, Piedmont Airlines. Terry Labonte car. I'll see you in a couple of days, Mr. Labonte. I do a corporate event every year with Piedmont Airlines. Look forward to returning this year. But we do. We have so many events coming up over the next few weeks. We are going to be just slam busy. I've got weddings Saturday and Sunday, 2 different states. Monday and Tuesday, I've got my annual event with Piedmont Airlines. Hopefully, Lobbies will be back there this year. He was there last year. Then Wednesday, we've got an event with Pitbull. I may or may not film that, but looking forward to that on Wednesday. And then we've got events all the next weekend and through the week next week. Can't complain. I'd rather be busy than not. All right, there's a quick look at some of the trophies and some of the many photographs they've got here in this building. While I was talking to Casey and his mom, and Chad Knaus was walking around the shop. Waved to him, he waved back. Maybe we'll swing back over there and take a look inside the shop, see if he's still in there. Mark Martin, there was an amazing driver. Chicagoland Speedway. There we go. Beautiful day. Glad to see everybody here. Glad to see they're open to the public. Everybody's walking around having a good time. And hopefully, fingers crossed, that they'll stay open past just this weekend. That surely would be nice. Well, thank you guys and girls for watching. And there's that nervous but very nice staff member there taking photos of fans in front of the cars. I told her I wouldn't get her on camera because she was so nervous. But we took a picture together. Very cool. All right, boys and girls, there you have it. It is now 11 a.m. We got here early. We went over to Charlotte Motor Speedway, walked around there, saw the kids having a great time. Got back here for the reopening of these shops. Now it is packed, and that's a great thing to see. It is a beautiful day here in Concord, North Carolina. Race fans coming from all over. Casey, his mom, up around Richmond, Virginia. Met some folks from Pensacola, Florida. And we met some more Canadians today too. That's great. Don't think much else is going on. Maybe we'll take a walk around the gift shop and car museum one more time. In honor of Rick Hendrick, Randy Dorton, Richard Tracy, Elizabeth Morrison, Jennifer Hendrick, John Hendrick, Kimberly Hendrick, Scott Latham, Joe Jackson, and Jeff Turner. And on the four corners of the fountain, they've got Bible scriptures, which is pretty awesome. All right, let's see what else we can get into. And the last 3 or 4 times we've been out here, I've told you, he's been out and about. We either see him walking around or walking in his truck, and I bet that's where he's going right now. But I'm gonna say hello to him real quick. So we stopped for a few moments. We had a nice conversation with Chad Knaus. Had a nice conversation with Mr. Rick Hendrick. And the cops, they're here just to kind of keep everybody safe during this busy week. So we have been told it's very secure inside. We are not allowed to take our cameras. If they do, these guys that are short timers, they get ready before their retirement. Yeah, they threatened to put me in handcuffs and drag me off, but so we're gonna shut the cameras off and we're gonna take this very exclusive VIP tour inside 218 cars. Let's go. Okay, boys and girls, I gotta tell you, inside those doors right there is the most amazing flipping museum I have ever seen. I'm gonna walk around these Corvettes. I know I've showed you this the other day, but I'm gonna talk about what's inside there. Oh my God, he has got the world's largest Corvette collection. The majority of his Corvettes are 1967s. He's got $2+ million vehicles. He's got a handful of V1s, VIN1s, the very first evers. It is a absolute, it rivals Graceland. If you've ever been to Graceland in there and seen Elvis's collection of cars and just, well, Elvis has got everything, outfits, gold records. Mr. Hendrick, he's got cars. I'm talking, he's got Transformers, he's got Ferraris. He's got a $2+ million Ferrari in there, VIN1. He's got McLarens. I'm gonna try to find a drone footage of the inside. If I can, I'm gonna add it to this video for you guys. Personally invited by Mr. Rick Hendrick to go inside and take a tour around. Very honored. Thank you, Mr. Hendrick. Thank you to the wonderful staff here at Hendrick Motorsports for letting me go in. I just wish I could have filmed it for you guys. But there's an amazing place. They've got an actual working Dairy Queen inside there. There is a drive-in movie theater that's currently playing Days of Thunder. There is a bank from his hometown in Virginia that his mother worked at, and he got to learn how to manage money at a very young age. And there's a hauler for Ricky Hendrick. There's Dale. He took good care of us while we were in there. There is just so much. I never would have imagined how beautiful that showroom is inside there. Oh my God. I'm gonna look for some photos. I'm gonna look for a drone footage. She told me you can find it on the website, Hendrick website, drone footage of inside there. If I can't find it, I want you to look for it and just look how beautiful and amazing that museum is in there. That very, very, very few people ever get to see. I'm honored. Thank you. We are gonna wrap up everything here at Hendrick Motorsports. Me and the police officers were talking, and one of his favorites, being that he's a police officer, inside Rick Hendrick's museum in there is a Virginia State Trooper car with a Virginia State Trooper inside, a dummy, but the uniform is real. His name was State Trooper George, and I guess George and Mr. Hendrick got to become almost on a first name basis, so to speak, because State Trooper George gave Hendrick many of his tickets growing up in Virginia, including 3 in one day. And from what I understand, the third ticket was at a roadblock. And at one point, State Trooper George told Mr. Hendrick, I want you to leave my town. I want you to leave my county, never to return. Years later, when Mr. Hendrick became rich and famous, that town wanted to present Mr. Hendrick with the key to the city. He says, I will be honored to accept with one condition, that you locate State Trooper George and you have him meet me at the airplane and give me a ride in the squad car to the presentation. And they did. And when Rick Hendrick's plane landed, Officer George was there to meet him. And wouldn't you know, Officer George gave Rick Hendrick a citation stating that his airplane was too loud. And Officer George put Rick Hendrick in the back of the police car and took him to his award ceremony where he got the key to the city. Also in there, I mentioned that they have Transformer cars. They have 3 yellow cars that were part of the Optimus Prime Transformers, and then they have 2 newer ones, and I've never seen them, but they look more like army vehicles, like they're loaded down. Now, I love watching Optimus Prime and the bad guy Universal Studios YouTube videos where he chastises all the fans and the kids coming up to get their pictures taken with him at Universal Studios. But he has an amazing guitar collection as well. I need to just hurry home. I need to find that video, photos that I can get for you and post so you guys can see what I got to witness in there. The police officer here in the gift shop, we were talking. He says, you know, he goes, many times I've been in there, he goes, I always find something that I didn't see before. There's so many cars in there. All right, once again, can't come here without shout out DJ Faith, Watkins Glen. We got some fans here from Syracuse that I was talking to just outside the gift shop. They've attended many of the races there at Watkins. Not even just the NASCAR races, but also Formula One, he said. There's this ride right here, Watkins Glen, riding alongside the blue walls. And there's that wonderful staff member right there talking to that gentleman that told me about today's grand opening of the 2 race shops. We were able to get here and get in the lobby. And if I quit running my mouth and quit running these videos, I'll get home and upload it so you guys and girls can see it. But I'm having too much fun. What can I say?
Huh?
What do you think? What do you think of it?
We got more time.
This is all most will ever see of Rick Hendrick's Heritage Center. It's a lot like Fort Knox. We know it exists. We know what's in it. But few have been inside until now. In a word, the building is enormous, and exotic cars are lined up next to each other, one just as incredible as the next.
If you're a car guy, to go in there and look at cars, you'll be blown away.
Rick had been collecting cars all of his life. They were just spread out all over the country. The idea to bring everything under one roof didn't come about until the passing of his son Ricky and his father, Papa Joe.
When my son was killed, we had, they restored his trailer, and I had all of his cars. And my dad happened to die like 90 days before that, and had some of his cars. And I said, I'm just going to build a heritage center.
He did it up right. Inside, Ricky's cars surround his trailer, which houses his fire suit and helmet, along with photos and keepsakes from his career. Not far away is the car his father worked on, with a little piece of advice on the back. And of course, there are more Corvettes than you can count.
It's 140-some, right at 150 Corvettes. I've got pace cars that won when Jeff won Daytona, Jimmy won Daytona. 67s are my favorite. So instead of the Stingrays with the, you know, the 427s with the hood, the Stinger hoods.
He has a 1967 Corvette, once owned by music star Roy Orbison. There's the 1968 Chevy L88, the winningest Corvette race car in history. This 1967 Corvette belonged to King Leopold of Belgium. The car came with a Belgian Medal of Freedom. The king used it as a keychain. And on the corner of Stingray and South Hill, in its own little Corvette garden, sits the first ZR1.
I've always had this love affair with those cars. Never thought I'd own one. It drove me to work and to try to make enough money to have one.
And let's not forget the Camaros. This is the first 2010, VIN number 1, along with the 2012 VIN number 69. Behind these sits one of his world record-setting drag boats and Don Prudhomme's 2009 Top Fuel dragster.
Can you put a favorite tag on any one of those cars in there right now?
My 31 Chevrolet. And now I got a Corvette engine and all in it that my dad and I built when I was 14. That would have to be number 1. Now, it's not the most valuable car to collectors, but to me, I'd have to say that 31.
It's not just cars. Along the walls are storefronts from places which shaped Rick Hendrick's life. His grandfather's general store, where he worked on his very first car. The Palmer Spring Firehouse is right next to it. He has a replica of the bank his mother worked in and would write him 90-day notes so he could fix cars when he was young. Not far away is the tractor shop where he worked, and there's a scaled-down version of the drag strip he watched his dad race on back in Virginia. And right beside this is a replica of his original dealership, City Chevrolet. On display inside the showroom is Cole Trickle's car from the movie Days of Thunder. Mr. Hendrick even has a recreation of the ice cream parlor where he met his wife.
Got a real soft serve machine.
My question is, if you become adept enough at making the Q on the top of it,
yes,
you can make the Q.
I can do it perfectly.
But the thing that turns the most heads?
It's got the drive-in theater with the little things that hang on the side of your door so you can hear those speakers that hang on there. That's probably one of the most amazing things he's got.
This is merely the cars part of the equation. Rick also has a man cave, which houses an equally impressive collection of signed guitars.
I've got some of them in the floor and glass, and I have traveling wheelbarrows with Roy Orbison and Tom Petty and George Harrison signed, and I've got a Jimi Hendrix guitar. I've got the Rolling Stones did a top 100 guitars all time, and I think I'm missing one in the top 10.
And when he needs to talk things over, he heads to his conference room with one of the most unique tables you've ever seen.
I found my first Corvette that I paid $1,000 for, and that's my conference table. It's restored with a glass top on the chassis, motor, and all.
His engineers are so good, I'm told if they ran the proper fluids to it, they could actually start the engine. So be careful where you put your legs at the next meeting. But like a true showman, Mr. Hendrick saved his best story for last.
The NASCAR had this huge duplicate of the Sprint Cup trophy. And this thing's about 8 foot tall, gorgeous thing. And after our banquet, I said, what do y'all do with that thing? And they said, well, we store it. And I said, well, I'll store it for you. and you don't pay anything. So they shipped it to me, and I bolted it to the floor. So I said, now you can come see it anytime. It's a time capsule and something I love, and it takes me back. My son, not here anymore, my mom, dad's not here, my brother died in a crash. So I can walk in there and see that my history of my life, my family, all in front of me.
For a long time, but now you've got, I know this isn't all of them, but you have a lot of them in one place, and you put together something that's pretty special for you.
I've always been a car nut, and my first car's right here, so I don't get rid of anything. I love to walk in here because it just takes me back in time. I just have flashbacks of, I can tell you a little bit about every car in here, and it just makes me feel good, feel alive, and again, pay tribute to my family.
Now, you mentioned that 31 Chevy that we're sitting in front of doing this interview. When you see that car, what are the memories that come to mind for you?
I think about, I bought it for $250, and when I brought it home, my mother said, "You paid $250 for that thing?" I think I was 14 years old, and I had worked in the summer in tobacco, and that was the money I made. And my dad and I built it in my granddad's general store. And then I worked on it in automotive mechanics in high school. And then I left home, and I hadn't seen it. And for my 40th birthday, my dad drove it in the city Chevrolet with my wife and 2 kids in the rumble seat. So it's
special.
It's a family tradition, I'd say.
Yeah, and you also raced it, right?
I drag raced it, yeah. I was successful with that. So the car has just been a part of my life.
You talk about working on your first Corvette. I know you said you have that here now, but at one point in time you wanted just to be able to get that car.
Yeah.
Right. Put it into perspective for me, or can you, going from that moment to where you are now in your life?
To get that car, I had one of my buddies called me and said he had a friend that had a Corvette that had a problem with the motor. Would I work on it? And I said, sure. And when I went over and looked at it and diagnosed it, he said, well, you know anybody who wants to buy it? I said, well, what do you want for it? And he said, well, I'll take $1,000. It took me 3 notes to get $1,000 together to be able to buy it. And then I think about how excited I was and how many times I painted that car, different colors and different wheels and all that. It was just kind of my baby. And I dated my wife the first night in that car. And when we first met, and it broke down on the highway, and I had to crawl under and put a star wire together to make it run. So she talks about that still. But
it worked out okay.
It worked out okay. She's happy now. But I just remember going to the dealerships when I was 13 or 14 years old, and the new cars would come out, and they'd paper the walls. And everybody would go see the new cars. So you couldn't go see them. One day, all the cars came out. And I remember how excited I was about sitting in a 63 Chevrolet 409 and just drooling over the car. And I have one now.
Well, let's take a walk around, and I'll have you point out a few of your favorites to me.
Sure. Now, this is King Leopold of Belgium's car. Now, he had 3 Corvettes. They were all silver.
Okay.
And I have all 3 of them. And then we have the movie cars from the Transformers. This thing, we had it on rollers coming down the driveway to put it in here.
Yeah.
And to see it come down the street on a pallet, it looked real. I mean, it looked like you were right in
exactly.
You're right in the movie. This is Roy Orbison's car, and I have all the documentation with it, and it's a super rare 427, 435 horse with black with red interior. Black is a very rare color back in those days. Almost at the same time I started heavy collecting, I started getting into guitars, and so we've now got a pretty good guitar collection.
I know, I heard about that too.
Have you seen it?
I have not.
We need to show that too.
Well, let's look at it.
Okay.
Oh, this is awesome. Well, now how many guitars do you have?
I've got a couple hundred guitars. One of my buddies that I really enjoy listening to is Chris Stapleton.
Oh, so good.
Chris signed it, and then Justin Timberlake signed it because I love that song they did together.
I love that you have the drive-in in here. Was that just something you wanted to put in, or is it a special drive-in, or?
Well, we call it the Bel Air Drive-In, and you know, Bel Air was an old Chevrolet. And so there are a lot of creative people here. I can't take the credit for it all. And just ideas kept popping up. So we just continued to do things, and thought the drive-in was pretty cool.
It is.